We are back and we have set up our click and we're wanting to now import the tracks into this project. We have purchased these tracks from multitracks.com, at least for this song. Sometimes we create them from scratch on our own, or we utilize another company called Loop Community. We just kind of go back and forth and see whichever one is cheaper. And we try to stick with the original tracks. And so this is what we had purchased. And what we'll do is I already have these in a folder. Let me see, where's that folder? Mini drive. We have it under project tracks, worship songs. Jesus, where are you at? Jesus, we love you, right here. Okay. So we don't have it in the key, in the right key. So I'll find the closest key, which is D. So here we go. We found the tracks. We've opened it up. And then what we're going to want to do is select all of these. I'll hit Command A. And with this underneath, I'll just drag this, and you're going to want to start at the beginning. So it'll look like this. Just want to kind of, and if you don't get it perfect and you have it here, you can move it later, but we want to start at the beginning. And I'll just let go. It'll take some time for the files to add. So maybe I'll fast forward. Okay, now we have this option, create new tracks, use existing tracks, place all files on one track. What we want to do is create new tracks. Click OK, and now we have all of our files. And hide these so we can see everything. First thing that I do is like to organize everything according to how we have our MainStage set up. So I know that we have clicking cues first, and then next is usually a percussion track. And this song doesn't have any percussion that I know of, so we'll leave that blank. And the next thing we have is electric guitars that we usually run. So we'll go to electric. I'll move all the electric guitars that happen to be here. And then we either usually have acoustic guitar or background vocals. We have background vocals here. We're probably not going to use it because when we use a song that's not in the original key, usually background vocals sound terrible once they're tuned. Acoustic guitar, we'll leave that. Bass and drums we don't use live ever. So I usually put those at the bottom, make a stack track, put them together, and then I just go ahead and mute them. I don't even want to hear them. And we usually don't use piano either because on a consistent basis we have bass, drums, and piano. So I can just go ahead and put that there. And on this song, I know there isn't a piano that sometimes isn't really like the real piano. It's just, it says piano, but it's more of like that auxiliary type of piano. So sometimes you do want to add that in your track so that your piano player can just play kind of a regular piano sound, and they don't have three hands, so they can't play that extra part. We have click track here. We're not going to need that because we're going to create our own, so I'll just delete this. And then guide is what we're going to use to help really create the markers. And as you see, depending on how fast your computer loads the audio and creates the visual, you can see here already where the cues are at. I will click this, it'll make it bigger. That way I can see it. So electric guitar, background vocals, acoustic, keys. Oh, here is percussion. Put that back up here. And then strings. And then I know that we're going to create a pad track later, but we'll save that for now. Let's just go ahead and change these so that they are matching how we usually do things. So do this, percussion. Actually, we'll just leave PRC. I think we do that. And then Jesus, we love you. And then E. And to make this go maybe just a little faster, hit enter. I will, there's no space in between there. I will just copy this. I went copy. Move this guide up here, put it in here. We'll get rid of it later, but for now, I want it to be with the click and cues. I know that I'll just paste this here and then I'll just change the number. So 19 for us is usually lead guitar. So lead electric, I'll go lead electric 19. Looks like there's only one electric. Usually 20 is what we call rhythm electric, but that's not there. So I will just change this to 21 background vocals BVGS. Actually, I don't even want to waste our time. Let's see what the background vocals even sound like. Yeah, totally not going to use that. Deleted. So we'll take acoustic guitar, and we'll go ahead and put acoustic guitar in channel 21. 21, and I'll go acoustic. Now we do usually have an acoustic guitar player on Sundays, but it's nice to have a second acoustic. A lot of times it does sound totally different than what our acoustic guitar is playing, so it makes it sound a little bit thicker. Keys, put this in channel 22. Keys, strings, I will put in channel 24. Because 23 is where we usually put our pad track. 24, strings. Great. First things first, what we're going to want to do is just listen to the track and see what we're working with again here. I'm going to, actually first thing is we want to make sure we extend these click and accent tracks, and what we're going to want to do is loop it. So if you just highlight over it and you move up and down, you'll see different options. This is what we want right here. We want this, the loop. What I'll do is I'll select both of these and I'll get the loop. There it is. Then I can just drag it. See how that works? Oh, and then I'll zoom out here, and then I will just go ahead and loop this towards the end of the song. About right there should be fine for now. I'll zoom back in, and let's just go ahead and listen to this song real quick.
1.
You are too loud. Going to take you down for now.
2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now, you're probably wondering, aren't these tracks in the key of D? How are you going to get it to E? Well, that's the second thing we need to do. So once I've made sure that everything sounds great in here, all right, so this is how we change the key. We'll go into, we'll start with this track, and we'll open up what is the mixer. And then what we're going to want to do is we collect this channel, we get this channel here, and we're going to want to use what's called a utility, or no, audio units, Apple, yeah, audio units. I don't like the pitch corrector here, pitch shifter here. It doesn't do it, in my opinion, as naturally as it should be. So I go into this audio units pitch, and then I go to, because everything we're doing is in mono, I'll go to dual mono. And then cents, every 100 cents is a half step for you piano players. So we're in the key of D. If we need to go to the key of E, we need to go plus 200 cents. And then what I do is I usually bump the smoothness up all the way. Effect blend 100, 100, 100. Actually, I did this wrong. Stereo. There you go. My bad. So we're going to need to go to 200. I bumped the smoothness up to, really you can listen to it. Sometimes if the smoothness is too high, then for instruments, maybe like an acoustic guitar, you won't hear each of the articulations. And sometimes, it's just a preference thing, but for the most part, effect blend 100, smoothness 100, tightness I usually leave at 50. And because this is something I'm going to use in the rest of this song, I like to create default, and you could say I've already created this default before, but basically you would just save as default, and then I would, oh no, I don't want this as default. Recall default, my bad. I would go save as, oh my goodness, I am crazy. And then you can see I've already put it there. And I usually do 200, 100, 150, and that just represents what it is so I know in the future I could use it. All right. Just delete that default real quick. So we got 200, 100, 150. Then all I really need to do here is go to the other tracks, slide this up so you can see it. So we're going to go to 21, which is acoustic. We'll just do the same thing. Stereo. Go here. And it's changed. Now, if you want to hear something interesting, listen to this. Here we go. And just for fun, so you can hear how things change, I always do this. This is kind of fun. I'm going to start changing this, the key, and then it'll all match together. So it sounds really bad right now.
Pre-chorus.
Oh, strings.
Chorus. Band.
There you go. While I'm at it, I might as well change it on the piano and bass, just in case if you ever want to listen to it. So here's what it sounds like without it. So bad. Thank you. There you go. All right, we're going to save. That's right. Save the file. Now that our pitch is corrected, we can set up the file so that it works well with MainStage. Because right now we just have tracks, and we can't really use this. One of the things we need to do is we set up our guides different than what they use. And for us, we have, so I go over here to Files, Media, no, All Files. And then I find our Clarity Mini Drive. So I clicked on here, the computer. We have a full file folder called Cues. We get these from loopcommunity.com. Pretty much all of them except for the one that says Next Song. And it literally sounds like my voice because it, well, is my voice. So what we're going to want to do is create a brand new track. And this is going to be an audio track. Everything is turned off in just one track. This audio track is going to actually, this is not the best way to do it. Let me just delete that. The best way really to do this is, I know that we're going to try to copy what they do where they go
1, 2.
They go 1, 2, then intro 2, 3, 4. So we'll find 1 over here, and I'll just drag it into here. It'll automatically create the kind of track that I'm looking for. I don't know why it gave me that icon. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and geek out and just do this too. Don't make fun of me. There you go. Save. So now I have this already here.
1, 2.
Now we know that the Q's is always -6 for us, so we're just going to go ahead and do that now. So we have 1, 2, and remember when you drag in a track, it always wants to end on the first beat, so you have to let it stand on the beat 1 for whatever that is, and then we'll let that drop in there. 1, 2. Now we're in 6/8 or 6/4. These tracks, these loop community tracks, do have an opportunity for us to use what we call 6/8. So each of the audio is a little bit quicker for a song like this, where instead of going 1, 2, 3, it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just shorter. So we'll utilize this for the rest of the song. Now
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what thing that we do is we have each of the markers. So pertaining to how the song is charted out, and we'll just pull this up so you can kind of see it. We call this first part intro. So then what we're going to want to do here is go to our song. And this, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'll say intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'll do is I'll go over here, I'll drag intro. Now I already know that 2 is going to lap over it. And what I want to do is on the drag, we're going to do an X fade. All right. And then we'll add 2 from the 6/8. And we'll drop it on the 3 here. And then I'll go like this. And you'll see, I don't know if you can see it there, but it basically X faded it. So it sounds a little bit more natural as opposed to intro 2. It'll cut it off if I don't have the X fade. So
Intro 2.
And then I'll add the other beats 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a little trick later on. If you're going, I have to do this for every one of these. There's a little trick to make it go quicker. Now here's something that we do with our beat 6. Even her 6 seemed a little delayed. So you have to kind of play with it and make sure it lands in the right spot. So I'll solo this and then solo the click as well, so you can hear whether the cues happen on the right time.
Intro 2.
I do not want that.
3, 4, 5, 6.
See how it's just a little bit late? 6. So I'm going to find out where the bulk of that is and just go right there and see how that will sound. Take this out of the way.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ah, that sounds better, right? Good. We've got that set. And then if that's the intro, what you're going to want to do is click to where that is and then hit marker. And then you're going to call that intro. I also like to go to the beginning and create a marker there anyways. And then I usually go start. That's what I have for that. Then we'll just kind of go through the song here. The next cue right here is probably going to be for the verse. Let's just see.
Verse.
So that's verse. So we'll add that cue in there. And then remember I said how you don't have to drag them all over again. What I'll do is I'll go here. You don't have to drag those cues. I'll go like this and just hit edit, copy, and from now on I'm just going to use the quick keys, Command C. What I'll do is I'll go to beat number 2 here and just hit paste. Oops, got to make sure you're on the track. My bad. Go to beat number 2, and there you go. There we have it.
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then make sure we add that marker. Verse. Basically, we just go through the whole song and we add these things.
Pre-chorus.
Pre-chorus. So that's how we set up the tracks, if that makes sense. Now, I already have done this song in a different key, and to save us time, I'm going to open that file so you can see how everything looks when it is actually done. So we're going to go here, and we're going to open up Jesus, We Love You. This is one we had done previously. And you can see here we have all of the correct markers and everything and whatnot. So this is the key of C. And I already pre-recorded some pads here for this song in the key of C. So what I want to do is I want to utilize this in this other thing that we had made, in this other track we had made. Now I'm going to be a little lazy and going to save some time. So here's another way. If you've already created a track like this before, you can actually utilize what you've already done here, so you don't have to recreate all this stuff. And let me just show you how that works, and you'll see how quickly it goes. So first I'll go File, I'll save a copy as and I'll make sure to put it in the right place, Logic, Songs. And then because this is an alternate one, I'm going to Jesus We Love You. I'll just go 0.2, save. That's going to save it. And for now, I'm going to get rid of all of this. What you're going to eventually want to do if you're doing this from scratch is you're just going to do what I did here and create all the little markers, all the little tracks, and I'll show you basically what it looks like in this one that I have made. I'll save this, click out of here. So when you're eventually done, this is what it looks like. See, for every transition you have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
4, 5. Chorus.
Like
Chorus.
pre-chorus, 4 or 5. And the reason why I don't put 2 in there, I think
Pre-chorus.
it sounded really weird to have pre-chorus 2, 3, 4. So I just left that out. But at every juncture, you'll have this, and then I usually put the end.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right, great. We'll go in here, and as you can see, we have the accents, all that stuff. Click, accent, everything is titled. Now, I want to make this is, we'll close out of here, don't save. I want to open up that file that I had made as a copy, so I'll go here. Remember the 0.2. And then what I'll end up doing is taking all of these tracks and so
Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is actually incorrect as far as these should be all the way over here. Do not know why it's not there. But what I'll do here is, to make things easier, I will delete these tracks, right? And I'll go here, keys, delete this, save, file. Well, no, I'll show you how to do it later. And then what we'll end up doing is taking those tracks that we had from here, and then I'll just drag them into here as needed. So we have this percussion track. I'll just drag it into this channel here. And I'll do the same. So we have a lead electric, which is just the electric guitar. We talked about that. We're not going to use background vocals because it sounds terrible. Strings. keys, organ. Oh, I guess I switched it up. I guess there is organ in this keys track. If there's organ always goes on the last channel. We try to keep some consistency for our sound guys. Acoustic guitar, piano, bass, drums. This really is a quicker way to do it. Just trust me on this, rather than making all the new markers and dragging everything in. And then so what I'll end up doing here is just deleting this, changing it to E, and then I'll Control copy, and then watch how I do this real quick. I hit the right arrow, delete twice, Command V, double click, right arrow, delete twice, Command V, and then you'll see how quickly you can just get this done. This doesn't even have anything, so I'll just go ahead and do there. That's kind of that. Save. And we just need to kind of go, then we need to go in here and change the tuning. So remember, this is all in the key of D. So we have this channel, AU pitch. Oh, they have recent. Nice. Just hit Command W, go to the next one. Maybe I will save as default. Huh. Let me see if I'm onto something. If it makes it quicker. AU pitch. Well, what do you know? Look at that. Huh. And then we do the pads. Okay, because the pads are MIDI, I'll show you how to do that differently. We don't want to use the tuning thing. We're going to actually want to edit the MIDI. Because otherwise it sounds weird. Keys and organ. Great. Awesome. Now to go to the pads. Normally what you would do is you would create a new track, and then you would use our synth pad sound. I'm just going to delete these for now. So we have this synth track, which I pre-recorded myself, but we're in the wrong key. So this is the key of C, if you remember what it was before. So if I need to go to the key of E, you can always tell what key you're in. Usually if the song starts on a 1, you could see C. This song actually starts on the 4. So if this is F, but we need to shift the whole song up to E, which, so from C to E is a 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. So what I'll do is I will just hit Command A, select all of it, and then you have to, I'm going to move this from F1. Remember I said it's 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move this F1 to A. So there it is. We just want to make sure it's still aligned in the same place that it was. And let go. That should do it. Let's try this.
Intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Why does this not sound right? Oh, I didn't change the pitch on the acoustic guitar. Boom. That. AU pitch. Boom. And then the bass. There you go. Try this again.
Intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sounds good. So, I do not know why that is there. I think it was really loud. Do not know why. We'll just go save, and then we have to make sure that this pad is -3. If you remember how those settings usually go for us. I'll hit save. So now we have our tracks ready to go. 17, 18, 19. I'm going to go ahead and add this acoustic guitar as an option for our sound peeps, because there's not going to be an acoustic guitar this week. So I'm going to put it under channel 21, if you remember. I'm just going to take this here to save me time. Copy, paste, and then I'll just 21 acoustic. There you go. One little continuity. I don't like the space in these tracks. Not tracks, in these titles. All right, that looks good. No space between here either. All right. There we go. Save. Now we just have to do what we usually do, because this is the last song on the set. It'll need a transition from the previous song. But what you've learned right now is how to set up the tracks. This is a really basic thing where really not much editing was needed. Sometimes we change the form of the songs, so there are other songs we do where it's a little bit more detailed than this, but we don't really change the form of the song. I just cut the intro shorter for this. So that was pretty easy. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at phil@claritymn.org. Be more than willing to try and help you. Otherwise, that's that for this part. And the next part of the tutorial in the next video, we're just going to do what you've seen the last few weeks, but just with this set.